Welcome everyone to our webinar today. Look forward to providing you with some good information about ServiceNow AI solutions and the ability to use ServiceNow to create your very strategic plans around AI. In terms of our agenda today, as Sean mentioned, we'll highlight introductions. We'll talk about the why Gen AI as well as the importance of Gen AI. Then we'll highlight some existing AI solutions. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do a demo today. We'll do that as a follow-up, but we'll also then highlighting some of the new future AI capabilities coming out shortly. Then we'll highlight how you can use ServiceNow strategic planning for your AI strategies and goals and plans. We'll highlight our results positive strategic plan report portal and then a specific AI example. And then we'll end up with the implementation best practices and question and answers. So thanks again for joining us today. Look forward to providing you with some good insights, some value you can take away from our session today. For those of you that might not have attended any of our sessions or haven't worked with us before, we are an organization focused on helping organizations get value out of their software investments. And we do that by right-sized implementation services, as well as a focus on analytics and reporting. In terms of areas that we specialize in, one being our strategic partner with ServiceNow, the other being strategic portfolio management, which includes project portfolio management, as well as service management, and then the new and updated enterprise architecture, application portfolio management. So those are the key areas that we specialize in helping customers. We definitely helped customers in other areas, but those are our specific areas that we like to specialize in. In terms of why Gen AI and the importance of Gen AI, wanted to kind of pose some questions here to get us all thinking as we jump into our webinar today. First of all, kind of the question you can kind of answer yourselves is just, does your company have and what are your company's current strategic AI goals and objectives? And so we're seeing more and more now, instead of focus on kind of science projects for AI, being more strategic in looking at AI, adopting AI in organizations. And we see that as a focus around strategic advantage, whether they're helping grow revenue as an example, create new products, enhance your current product suite. In terms of project delivery, part of our focus area today around strategic portfolio management, how to increase your project success rates, right? How do you streamline your administrative burdens? How do you reduce risks? How do you improve your overall delivery? So how can AI assist you there in that goal and objective? And next, why are goals and objectives so important? A key component here is Gen AI and AI models are very expensive. Yes, they can provide some really good outcomes, but they are expensive. And so it's important to understand that, and important to make sure that you're making the right strategic decisions, as well as have the right business cases associated with those investments. And then a key area that we're starting to see organizations is really monitoring the outcomes of the various AI models that you might have deployed in your organization. And so because they're very expensive, it's really important to monitor them, see if they are meeting your expectations, if they're driving positive outcomes for the organization, such as revenue growth or cost savings. And part of that revenue growth, right, from a healthcare perspective, that could be how are we using AI to help with enhanced patient care? How are we using AI to help provide patient care remedies on how for patients should go home and kind of continue their healing process? How are we using it to come up with in the healthcare space to use AI to identify what's the best remedy for the situation, how to use it for research and development, new types of products, services to help improve overall healthcare as an example. And then overall, we want to also monitor the models. How quickly are they to use? How quickly do we get the responses back? Is it secure? What's the accuracy there? And do we have really a model that we can trust in terms of the recommended actions and data sources or summarizations that we receive. So it's really important to understand that setting up a strategy for AI in the organization. We're seeing organizations where they have, a separate data sciences organization. Within that, they've got their overall arching AI strategy for the enterprise. We're seeing those type of organizations be most successful as they're looking at AI as a strategic advantage for the organization. So next here, what I wanted to do is to look at some of the Gen AI solution highlights for ServiceNow. So this will be some of the capabilities that they have today, as well as some future. And then we'll highlight and dive into how you can use ServiceNow's SPM solution to help with putting together your AI strategy, etc. So those of you that might not have seen the new product feedback, product ideas capabilities, that's in the strategic planning workspace. And that's for customers that have the SPM Pro edition. And so that's a capability where you can funnel in and have all of your product feedback, your issues or recommendations, problems come in, and you can look at sentiment information with that. That can be then consolidated and created into product ideas. And then from there, you can link those into projects that you're going to be working on, other items that you're going to use to address those feedback and ideas coming into the organization. So one key component here that's currently available in Now Assist is being able to summarize the feedback, right? So you'll get a lot of different feedback coming in, and then you'll be able to see here that you can use AI to summarize that feedback. So that'd be a way to streamline the analysis effort needed in looking at these ideas and quickly be able to communicate from that business case perspective. We want to continue forward and create a product idea based upon the feedback coming from the various product customers. Another area, this is a big area for AI at this point, is continuing with this idea of summarization, doing it on the different docs capabilities. If you haven't seen that, that's been rolled out recently. And so that's available in your product idea. You've got your AI docs, and you can look at the Gen AI summarizing that information that would have been put in manually and give you a nice, concise summary. You could take that and then populate that or copy that and paste that back into your overall feedback. Same thing here on your project docs. Those of you who have started using that, you can use that to summarize any of your docs you have. So say if you have a meeting or you have a charter document there, you can use it there. And then planning items. So within the strategic planning workspace, planning items have docs capability as well. And so you can start using that to summarize. And then for your enterprise agile planning teams, they have a docs capability there, which is a platform capability here for docs, but being able to summarize that, make it very concise, and then be able to use that to communicate out to various stakeholders. And then there's the conversational Now Assist capabilities that are on the platform. And so here within SPM, you can use that almost like a virtual agent, if you will, but use that to be more conversational. We found that to be effective with more business users. Instead of the old way of just giving them fields that they need to fill out, you can kind of conversational, ask the question, explain what you're looking for. You can still have the required information that needs to be collected, and then you can have the optional information as well. So just kind of a more conversational interaction with your customers submitting those demands, i.e. those new project requests. So those are kind of the as-is capabilities for AI and Now Assist in SPM. So what we wanted to look at is some of the upcoming capabilities. So this was discussed by ServiceNow, one of their recent vision series. And so obviously forward-looking information is subject to change, but wanted to highlight some of their plans that they're looking at for additional capabilities here in the AI space. So one is to really start assisting portfolio managers as they are doing scenario planning. And so this is coming up in the future. This also is, as we'll see here on the next slide, what they're planning on releasing out in the future here too, which they're currently working on, is enhancing the scenario comparison, which recently came out, adding in the resource capacity side as well as the financial side, and then allowing for AI Assist to help you determine what's the right mix of projects you should invest in. And so that'll be a nice way to kind of tie everything together. So look for that coming up in the future. Next, there's going to be a project management insights. So basically you can have an email coming out to project managers or stakeholders, informing them based on analysis of the project and the issues and risks and tasks, etc. Kind of give an overall email on insights. Might be areas that you might need to dive into to keep the project on track, or areas for informational purposes. So a good way to summarize how your project's doing, as well as identifying quick areas to improve project delivery. Next, and this is what I'm really excited about, is the ability to have Now Assist and automation be able to auto create a status report for a project. So this is something that one of the first use cases that I think were identified when AI came out. So it's getting closer here to a reality. So it should be coming out shortly. One of the other areas here is for resource management. And so I know this is an area they're going to look to do a lot in, but this is kind of one of the introductory areas here, is kind of receiving an email and providing more information about what's going on with resource management here, and potential bottlenecks found with your current resource management data in the system. Next here, a great way to break down, say, your epics into stories as an example. And so basically you could use Now Assist to give you draft stories, if you will, which then you could update from there. So great capability to kind of help streamline backlog planning, grooming activities by using Now Assist in that fashion. Another one here is kind of meeting insights. So this is looking at stuff on SPM, potentially outside of SPM as well, bringing it together and kind of highlighting some insights from a team perspective, what you've been working on, you know, how many new tasks have been created, how many risks you might be managing, how many meetings might have taken place. So start to give you some better insights there, just of participation of your team as well as their productivity. So those are some of the future things that are coming here that are currently on the roadmap. I think we'll get an updated view of the roadmap at Knowledge next month. So looking forward to that as well. So when we look at strategic planning, and we talked earlier about the importance of coming up with the strategic goals and objectives around Gen AI, potentially having that data sciences group, having that group responsible for having a strategy. We're seeing more and more, right, that corporate boards, corporate planning, they're expecting AI to be involved in the company's strategic plans, as well as their strategic goals. And so that just highlights how organizations can start using the strategic planning or the portfolio planning workspaces and the associated capabilities to create your specific AI strategic plans. So you could create a corporate-wide strategic plan. You could create a department-wide strategic plan. And so within SPM, you can create a strategic plan. You can document your vision and mission, what you want to accomplish there. What are some of the key organizational values and cultures you want to establish to make sure that you can adopt and get value out of your AI initiatives and investments. Obviously, then you'd want to identify your strategic priorities. What are those key themes, key focus areas that you want to guide your investments, help guide the achievement of your desired goals? And here, obviously, define your goals. That could be your primary goals, that could be your OKRs. And so you can have all of that kind of to set that structure, set that roadmap, if you will, of the direction you'd like to proceed as an organization by having that plan, setting those priorities, and having the associated goals within each one of those priority areas. And so what we've seen our organizations doing is once they've got that plan and those strategic priorities and goals, right, then they can communicate that strategic plan with stakeholders. And we'll show an example here coming up. But they can also then use the core capabilities as those new ideas come into play. How do they assess those? How do they rank those? How do they score those items? And go through a standard business case process to get approval. We do find that organizations have an AI specific governance group. Others are still incorporated into everything, but I think the ones that are more effective have an AI specific governance group. So they're assessing all the AI initiatives with the right data scientists, if you will, in the organization. And then as a result of prioritizing those demands, those potential projects, creating the associated strategic roadmap, identifying any dependencies there, tracking and managing those, as well as then starting communicating that overall approved roadmap. And then you want to analyze and maintain your roadmap. But the thing that I would always say you add on top of that is what's your process to monitor and maintain those AI models. So that's a key component. That's a key area that we're seeing organizations really focusing in on at this point due to the cost associated with the AI models, right? It's important to try those models. It's important to see if we can get value. If we quickly can't get value, then it's an opportunity to stop that AI model and try a different one, or reevaluate with our overall strategic plan. So it's a key opportunity to make sure that you're monitoring the results of your AI models. So as we've kind of talked about before, as part of that intake business case process, right, you need to do your prioritization, you do your scoring. And so that's what's nice in strategic planning is they have out of the box RICE scoring, the WSJF scoring, weighted shortest job first approach, effort versus value. Here again, organizations can actually configure their own scoring framework. So you might have a specific framework for AI initiatives that you could use that. And so that's one of your key inputs is looking at that scoring. And then you compare those scores with other inputs around strategic alignment, maybe capability alignment here, your Moscow analysis. From there, you can finalize your prioritization and ranking, and then present that to the various governance boards for approval. And that kind of leads us into you want to establish a governance process, governance entity associated with your AI initiatives. Like I said, with most success we've seen for organizations that have a separate AI governance committee reviewing and approving all the different AI initiatives across all the different departments of the organization, IT just being one of those. Next thing I want just to highlight is as a result of using, say, strategic planning workspace or portfolio planning workspace, then you can have your overall strategic roadmap. So here's an example of what ServiceNow is using for their SPM roadmap. And so this is their roadmap. This is what they're using as they manage their product roadmap. And I'm sure we'll get an updated version of this or slightly updated version of this in May. But it just highlights how you can use the strategic planning workspace to assist in your AI roadmap. In this case, ServiceNow doing it for their SPM roadmap. Next, what we wanted to highlight is our results positive solution. We have a strategic plan portal. And one of the key reasons for this is to be able to take all that data, those strategic plans, the strategic priorities, those goals and OKRs, and be able to communicate out to all your stakeholders in the organization. And so we created these as portals so you can view that, share that information. You can also export it out. And so basically you can give people access to the portal. It doesn't require an overall ServiceNow license here. So that's a key differentiator here, but it's also set up to be kind of like those executive presentations that you might have seen organizations put together in terms of their annual operating plan or their annual strategic plan. So just wanted to kind of provide an example. This is actually an example of an AI plan that we've created using Strategic Planning Workspace. And this is actually the output of, it's the same view in the actual online version, but this is an example of the output into a PowerPoint presentation. So you could have your first kind of landing page. What's the timeline? What's the name of your strategic plan? An overall summary of your strategic plan. Next here, we've got the mission and values. Here, obviously, you might have more values that you'd want to track here, but it gives a good view into what's important, what the strategic planners and portfolio managers feel is important to achieve your strategic plan. Then next here, an opportunity to visually provide your strategic priorities and be able to communicate those out to the organization. What's nice here with our strategic report plan portal, as well as the output here, you get to select various basically graphics that you want to include, the colors you want to use. That can be a global setting. You can include your logos in here, or it can be specific settings you can set up for each portfolio plan. So in this case, kind of got graphics specific for Gen AI. So here we can kind of see in this example, creating a strategic advantage is one of the key priorities. So focusing on AI models are going to help with a strategic advantage. Focus on initiatives to help manage your AI risks. We want to enhance and transform the workforce. How do they adopt? How do they best utilize AI models? And then build an AI foundation for long term. So not only use third-party AI models, but looking for is there an opportunity to create an internal AI foundation for long-term use to keep with that competitive advantage. Next here, then you kind of break down that each one of those strategic priorities or focus areas into the goals associated with each one of those areas, as well as then the targets. So this is another way of saying your OKRs. So you can set up your goals and targets as OKRs. And you'll be able to see them in the system as OKRs. And so this case here, this would be one of the particular outcomes you're looking for. Here's some of the results as an example that you're looking for. Those of you not doing OKRs, this is the goal. These are the target that you want to accomplish. And then we have here looking at that particular strategic priority. What does the roadmap look like? What's the overall status, percent complete here? And so you can kind of track that. And as we mentioned, you get to share this out with all your stakeholders, keeps everyone focused, everyone understanding what the organization is focusing on from an AI perspective. Then here, depending on how many strategic priorities you have, you can have those focused on here and highlight the specific goals and targets for each one of those priorities. And like I said, you can bring in your own specific type of graphics into the portal as well. Next here, we've got the roadmap. The next priority here is to manage the AI risks. And so here we want to have a responsible approach here. We want to have a risk management plan. We want to be able to mitigate the risk. We want to protect the IP. Obviously, you're going to be more specific than we see here, but just to kind of give you an idea of what you want to do around risk management. And then here, looking at drilling into that and establishing the very initiatives to make that happen. Then next here might be around building your AI foundation. So up front, you might need to build AI partnerships. You might already have some today. Maybe you're targeting additional partnerships. Then you want to look at creating your own internal large language model. You might want to look at updating or fine-tuning some public models that are best. You might want to establish an AI development and research practice or data science practice, as I mentioned before. So you might want to do that as well. And then here you could have the overall associated roadmap. So this is an example of our portals that are available online. as well as can be exported here into PowerPoint with example. A great way to communicate out to the organization your overall strategy. It's going to help with the overall uptake and keep everyone focused on your AI goals and objectives. So that's kind of what we wanted to highlight today is some of those new capabilities, some of the future capabilities, as well as an example there of our report portal. So when it comes to implementing SPM, you don't necessarily start with AI. So many of you might already be using SPM today. So you might be looking at, hey, maybe it's an opportunity now for us to start implementing some of the AI capabilities. It does require an additional license for that. Hence, as we mentioned, you'll want to have a good business case, understand what that is, and make sure it's going to help drive the benefits that you're looking for in your organization. But for organizations that haven't implemented everything, we still recommend everything in a phased approach, even from an AI perspective. You might want to do AI for your Now Assist on your different project documents, as an example. And then as they have some of the new capabilities around resource management or around project management, you'd want to phase that in based upon your maturity in each one of those domains. And so definitely recommend a best practice approach. It's all about adoption and ongoing sustainability. We have our common critical success factors. The first two here, focusing on that strategy, focusing on keeping it core, keeping it simple, versus trying to over-engineer, over-customize. Definitely you want to focus on keeping it out of the box as much as possible. There's different areas where we recommend updates, such as reporting, as an example. The next here is kind of gets into that whole idea of monitoring your AI models. Same thing here. We need to monitor our SPM capabilities in the system. So what are those key performance metrics that we want to start reporting on after we implement a phase of SPM? And then we also want to baseline those metrics over time. And the importance of the baselining is, so we implement, say, demand management. We have some metrics. We start tracking that. Then we use those metrics to determine what's our next enhancements or what we need to do next in terms of demand management, versus just taking all the customer feedback and just doing that reactively, kind of looking at the actual baseline metrics and determining what's next. Yes, you'll still want to use some of the product feedback coming back from the users, and you'll have some really good ideas there as well. But we found if you're more kind of pragmatic in that approach, you're going to have less change. You don't want to just keep changing the solution. You want it to baseline over time so you can really see where you have issues, as well as from a performance perspective or from an end user perspective. And then number 5 and number 6 are all about the organizational change. Definitely it's vital to have a great organizational change program. And what we found there is you want to do hands-on training. Having these role-based forums are really key. You kind of have built in, if you will, change champions, meet monthly with process owners or those that are interested, say, in demand management or project management or resource management. So it can be a really good continuous improvement type forum as well. And then number 6, vitally important, having that leadership reinforcement. And so you notice we didn't say leadership support. Yes, you need to do that before you actually implement SPM, but the key is reinforcement. So executives are using the system in their governance meetings, or they're referencing the data in the system in an all-hands meeting. So that's what we've found is if the organization can see that the executives, decision makers are using the data, then they'll make sure their data is up to date and accurate when those reviews occur, and that'll help drive your overall adoption. And as I just mentioned, it's important to prepare for change and then help navigate the organization through that change process. Key component here for success and adoption around SPM, because a lot of individuals kind of view a lot of it as administrative, and it is, but we need that information to make better decisions, both on the front end investment wise, as well as the ongoing tracking and performance of projects to make sure if we should continue down our current plan, if we need to replan. And so even though those are administrative functions, even administrative function around resource management, it's important that we get that adoption because it can provide tons of value to the organization. By having that correct data makes everyone's work-life balance much better. As kind of the end here, as we wrap things up, we always like to focus on what's your big business value opportunity. Like was mentioned earlier, maybe it's normalizing and getting more to out of the box so you can be more nimble, if you will, and streamline your upgrade process. Or maybe you haven't implemented the strategic planning workspace, portfolio planning workspace. And so you want to implement that capability there. So that could be a place that you want to start. Maybe it's the new resource management. They have a brand new resource management capabilities. So it's a little more modern. It is tied into the project workspace, the strategic planning workspace, something you definitely want to look at on your side, Chris. And then just hybrid project management. Those are some of the common areas we see customers looking to basically implement in their organization. Even if they've been a legacy SPM customer, a lot of them are starting now to migrate to the new workspaces, portfolio strategic planning, the new resource management, which includes a new resource management workspace, as well as in the new project workspace. So the question is, what's your key business value opportunities there? And yes, we could definitely help you with those. And some of the ways that we can help, we can schedule a value discovery workshop, understand what your goals, objectives are, give you some recommendations. We can even give you a quick little roadmap based upon 1 or 2 sessions with you. We can schedule a demo of the strategic plan report or some of our other reporting portals, or just schedule an implementation with you for SPM based on where you are in your overall journey. So keep those in mind as next steps. So if you need to reach out or need some assistance, let us know. Thanks, everyone.